Hi there, it's Paulie here. So, some of my listeners may even remember this. There's a convention here in Perth, Western Australia, called SwanCon. It is the longest running science fiction convention, well, convention of any kind actually, in the Southern Hemisphere. It's been going for donkey's ages, still going. And there's been some great guests. Hey, in fact, yeah, I'm fan guest of honor at the next one. So yeah, catch me if you dare. But I was at one of these years ago as a younger writer, and for some reason, a major American literary agent has come across to this thing. This woman was just appalling, and she has stayed scarred into the memory of everyone who was at this convention. She was bloody horrible. I called her the nicotine mummy, because she looked like something that had been hanging on a hook in an Aztec smokehouse. Literally, she was one of those chain smokers, just always a cigarette in the mouth, and the moment it starts to get like 3/4 down, just light one off the other. So piles of ashtrays everywhere. Her skin was like dark brown, and it was like pulled tight over the bone, so as if there's no part of her that wasn't just bone, that's the kind of nicotine tanned hide over the top of it and a bit of essential connective tissue. And every single joint of her body had massive chunky gold jewelry on it. Massive chunky gold earrings, massive chunky gold necklace and everything. So yeah, she really did look like, the Aztec mummy has arisen. She's a ring banger as she talks. So I was banging her rings on the table. And she had what I discovered was it's a New Jersey accent. Talked like the nanny named Fran. Oh, honey, honey, but harsher, with more gravel because she's a constant smoker. So it's like, oh, honey, honey, just with this funk of nicotine all around her. But she sort of found out that I was this writer that was doing D&D novels and all this sort of stuff. So she asked to see one of my manuscripts, so I gave her a novel of mine called Lilith, which is actually rather a good one. Well, they're all rather good ones, but it's out on Amazon. Have a look for it. Lilith is it's a really interesting kind of story about dreamscapes and succubi and incubi, and really interesting kind of horror romance story. She takes this thing off, and over the course of the next 2 nights she reads it through, and then she bails me up to sit down and have a talk about this. She's got this manuscript, and hand to God, the pages are now stained yellow from her smoking all over them. I had to throw the thing out. It was just like, and at that stage it really cost you money to run out a manuscript. But no one's going to touch this again. But so, oh honey, 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 I've been reading your book. It's full of ideas, honey. This is amazing. This is just so full of ideas, absolutely overflowing with ideas. This is a book that really makes you think. So, well, that's that's good. No, honey, no, that's bad. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Because if it's full of ideas, I'm thinking. If I'm thinking, I'm pondering. If I'm pondering, I'm not turning pages. If I'm not turning pages, I'm consuming. What we want is a book that just makes you turn pages, and you don't stop and think. You don't ponder. You just consume the book as quickly as possible. You just flick the pages. Just riffle the pages. You don't even bother reading the pages, honey. You don't even bother reading the pages. You just scan the pages as quickly as you can, and then you finish with the book, and then you throw it away. And that's a real book. That's a real book. That's what we can sell. That's what the industry's all about. That's what we're looking for, honey. No, we don't want anything that makes you think. And if it's a good book, if it's a really good book, if it's really memorable, well, then what you tend to do is you tend to lend your copy to people. You don't want something that's so good that you actually want to give it to people. You just want something that was vaguely interesting so that you vaguely mention it in conversation. So when people are looking to consume, they just vaguely remember that name and they put it on their order. That's all. But so what we're looking for, honey, is books that don't have ideas. We're looking for books that ain't memorable. We're looking for books that just don't make you think, that just make you want to get the whole thing over with as quickly as possible. So you're saying this novel of mine fails in those categories? Like, it's full of ideas, it's memorable, it's passionate, it's something you want to linger over, it's something you really want to enjoy, and something you want to recommend to your friends. Yes, that's right, honey, and that's why I can't buy it. So, thank you. Thank you. I cannot think of higher praise than having a book rejected on those grounds. She scarred quite a few writers. I was then dealing with a woman who ran HarperCollins over here. Equally, like barking mad. They wanted this book of mine. I was at this stage. I was doing a series of novels called the Travellers books, which are space swashbucklers, and they're great fun. They're sort of romantic and kind of they're in this sort of interesting eerie space. And this editor obviously, loved them, but it's just that she'd phone up and say, "Oh, those amazing books! Is amazing. Why I really want these books." And again, they're available on Amazon. Go check them out. So are you buying the books? Oh, we've got to have like a meeting with all the different departments where we discuss what we're buying and what we're taking on board. So yeah, I'll consider putting this up. Says you'll consider. Are you or are you not the fantasy and science fiction editor? Yeah. Do you want the book or not? Otherwise, I've got to try selling it on to someone else. Oh no, you can't sell it on to someone else. I want this. Turns out, and this is why all big publishers are just nonsense, absolute drivel, literally drive a pair of iron spikes through their eyes. Each department, and I mean science fiction, fantasy, is separate from horror, is separate from romance, is separate from gardening, is separate from self-help, is separate from, mystery and detective novels, is separate from adventure. They've all got these different groups, each with a different editor. What each of these wants is to steal the budget from the other departments. So if you go into one of these meetings, have these regular monthly meetings about what they want to do, if you go in and you champion a book, the others will all basically close in like piranha, vote you down, deride you, and hopefully get you smashed down to the ground, and they'll steal your budget because obviously you're incompetent. And, so they won't suggest a novel that they want to buy until they've got a preponderance of other departments that will support them. But they'll only support you if you do something for them. Support a book that they want. Now you think that'd be easy. You want to bring your thing out on gardening petunias on the slopes of Mount Everest, and you support me in my book. We just like hands across the sea. We'll just do it. No, they wouldn't do it. There was all these kind of micro perk things that each department had, and they're horse trading these things left, right, and centre. Net result, nothing done. 5 years, hand to God, I kid you not, 5 solid years. This woman is just phoning me up. She's phoning me up about once a month for a lovely chit chat. And I was like, what is happening with these books? Oh, we're starting to position ourselves to be able to like really think about buying these. Meanwhile, I've just self-published them. Screw her and screw HarperCollins. Turned out after a while, because everyone in that industry is basically Bowie knives out, just wanting to butcher each other and take each other's budgets. They hate each other. They despise each other. The only people they despise more than the other publishing companies, and I mean despise the other publishing companies, is the people inside their own publishing company. They're all at each other's throats. But I went over there to meet them a couple of times, and you're always met. Oh, we'll meet you, and you'll always get met, and they've got a budget. They take you out to a restaurant. This is actually how I travel, I have to say, as an author. I have no money, nothing, absolutely nothing. I live off the Patreon you guys give me, which is like about $150 a month. And just the occasional games commission. So when you travel, you hit up publishers and they'll take you out to lunch or dinner because they have these huge entertainment budgets. Oh, we'll take you out to dinner, and they take you out to like a 5-star. It's like fantastic. I'll open up my bag and full of bread rolls, and I'll live off those for the next 3 days. Not kidding on that one. But it costs them hundreds to take you to dinner because there's an alcohol budget with this, and these guys, they consume it. So you'll turn up. And in England, when I went to talk to like Harper's and a few other groups over there, I've never seen anything like it. You sit down, what cocktail are you having before lunch? Oh, okay. Sunny weather, I have a gin and tonic. Thanks. All right, a gin and tonic. And what wine are you having? Oh, well, I haven't actually seen the menu yet, so I don't know what goes with what I'm going to have. No, what wine are you having before lunch? Or what wine am I having before lunch? Oh, I'll have a look through. All right, they've got like all right, you got a kind of a light, sweet, airy thing. I'll have that, thanks. Good. A full bottle appears in front of you for everyone. These guys are going to drink a cocktail, and a full bottle of wine before ordering lunch. They order lunch with a bottle of wine with the lunch. Then they order a dessert wine. They're getting a full bottle of dessert wine. Then they're having port and whiskey and everything afterwards. These people are swinging from the chandeliers. By the sound, no, I can't. I don't drink like that. I can't now. I've got one kidney, but even then, it's like, hell no. I'm not going to drink a bottle of wine. I'm going to nurse this, put the cork in it and take half of it home. But they've got to go through the budget, they feel, because, and this is the thing with budgets, if they don't consume the budget, then they'll be given less budget next year because they didn't need it. So they've got to consume it to show that they need it. So I just stopped dealing with any of them business-wise. But Harper still kept phoning up because it turned out I was the one person this poor woman could talk to that didn't want her dead. Kind of did want her dead after all that run around with that book. She phoned up and said, "We just don't understand. We don't understand where our company is making less and less money by the year. Our sales are just plunging down, but our overheads are just so high." I said, well, one of the things is, what they did was they changed how they ran book companies. And instead of giving everyone a chance and lots of books by smaller authors, they just decided they're going to do one or two. That's where your Dan Browns and everyone came from. And God help us, J.K. Rowling. They just decided we're going to pick on one or two superstars and all the advertising budget goes into them. And we're not publishing all the little authors anymore. So if you look, there's very few books, honestly, on the shelves. There's only one or two authors that any company honestly puts anything into. But as a result, people's interest died because there wasn't as much to browse on and there weren't as many authors. So you couldn't go out there and find someone who was to your taste and kind of start looking for their stuff. No, we serve cheeseburgers and we serve hamburgers. Which do you want? Forget all that other stuff that used to be on the menu. It's gone. That's right. So I'm trying to explain this to the woman. So, but there's still the overheads. We don't know how to handle that. So we're doing a symposium. So I'll call you afterwards. I'll let you know how it's going. We're taking all of the editorial staff from every single department, from UK and New Zealand, from the US departments, from the British departments, and we're all going to a ski lodge in Switzerland, and we're just going to spend a month. The company's paying for it all, and we're just going to spend a month just clearing our minds and just a spiritual cleanse. There's a whole spa there and everything, so we can do the whole relaxation hot stone massage thing and just really clear our minds. And then at the end of that, we're going to have 2 weeks of just workshopping together, and we're going to just try and figure out how it is that our company just spends so much money on the way it operates. So, are you actually serious? What? Okay. Every person, no matter how dull or tedious, has a moment of perfect comedy somewhere in their life that they have to offer the world. It says, you've just done that. You will never be funnier than you are in this exact moment. You say, after telling me all that, you have no idea how HarperCollins has an operating budget that just flies into so many millions of dollars. No, we're mystified. Do you know what? I'll put it to you in this one little question. I can give you a written report that will explain the problem to you with absolute crystal clarity. It'll be a one-page report. Give me $2,000 now and you will have the report tomorrow and it will have the solution to all your problems. Or, how much is the symposium costing? So, it's got like a $2.5 million budget. Says, okay. Or spend $2.5 million on your symposium. Well, we couldn't really take $2,000 of advice, so we'll do the $2.5 million symposium. Says, and that, my friend, is why you will never, ever, ever solve this terrible conundrum. Yeah, that's when I started self-publishing. I have a little publisher now, Perceptions Press. They're a small publisher. They are trying really, really hard. They're trying to be a very positive voice and everything. So I'm starting to get my first books out with them. Perceptions Press. So they've just put out one of mine. They're about to put out a brand new one called Dungeoneers. Look for Perceptions Press. They're good. But otherwise, my stuff's all been self-published for the last 20 years. Find it on Amazon. Find it on Lulu. And when you do,
think about the nicotine mummy. Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
And think about those poor lost souls at their multi-million-dollar symposium just desperately trying to figure out, how do they keep spending so much money?
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Anyway, bye!